things I can do outside of the coaching session to make my next session more impactful?
I think uh, exercise. I mean, go get some good exercise. Get good hydration. I think having, as a coach, having yourself in physical shape for your session is underrated. I think it's one of the things I when I was at my best as a coach, um, taking care of my own world was a thing. I think going over leafing through the textbook, looking at uh, questions. I think sometimes coaches can get into a rut where they get their sessions might feel like they're falling into a certain pattern, or it feels like a certain thing. I know mine sometimes do too, and I realize I ask similar questions, which is, I mean, part of my brand and what I do. Some of it's conscious choice, but sometimes I'll leaf through the the book and go, oh, okay, let me try that one, or that might be an interesting idea. More around keeping the scaffold of your curiosity fresh, like just like a freshening up of curiosity. Um, that might be useful. I've done that in the past. I've seen a lot of coaches do that. I think what you want to avoid though is to feel like you're reading these questions and then you are planning on them and it feels scripted or forced. That's the downside to that approach, but yeah, not
Yeah.
bad.
It's that kind of balance, isn't it, between over preparing and why are you over preparing? Is there that fear of your value add? Yet the other side of that is keeping yourself current and that learning. And I was in a group mentor class this morning and somebody beautifully used future pacing model. And I was like, great, borrowed insight. I haven't used future pacing in a while. So it was really good to have that trigger. And I think it's really important for me, and I would say, for other coaches, is to just revisit the textbook or learning, or I think you always have a yearning for learning when you're a coach as well. What is another class I might do? What might I read to stay current? I mean, for some of it for me is also staying current in like the leadership niche that I'm in, not to the point where I feel that I need to know it all to advise or be an expert, but is useful to know what's happening, I think, in the industry and keeping current and up to date. So there's those learning pieces. And then I think, as you were saying, John, taking care of yourself. So that is work on self, physical, mental, emotional coaching. And I was talking to somebody in an overview this morning about quietening the mind and how do you even prepare a few minutes before, especially if you've got a strong inner critic or you might be a perfectionist going into a coaching session. For me, mindfulness is key. Just giving myself a few minutes and asking myself, how do I want to show up in
Mm-hmm.
this next session?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one of my first coaches. She had a routine that she would do before coaching sessions. Like she had a certain song she would listen to. She had, like almost like a ritual of like a morning routine. Something like, and I mean, it really helps. It seems, I know sometimes it seems like taking steps backwards. Like, oh, I don't need it. I can just jump in. But yeah, over time it matters. Having these kind of reading a book, getting inspired. Uh, I've been doing it. I've been doing my morning routines more lately, the last couple of weeks especially, and I just like it. It makes a difference. It really does. Mm-hmm.
What kind of things do you do, John?
It's been reading the books. It's mostly if I get in there and read something, read a study. If I, yeah, I have to read something someone else wrote in the morning time and start there before I check anything else. It really helps. And I've been more disciplined on that. And it's also outdoor sports season coming up. So that's good stuff.